Hi, my name is Danny Guillory. I'm a principal product manager on the Microsoft Intune team.
I'm Joe Lurie. I'm a senior product manager on the Microsoft Intune team. And today we're going to walk you through enterprise application management with the navigate the future of EAM with Intune. Danny?
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of the agenda, what we're going to go through here. So we're going to talk about current state, problems and comments. We'll talk about some things coming in general availability as well as post-general availability. Super exciting things that you should really get excited about, as well as we'll talk about future state and vision and where we're going and what we're trying to accomplish. So let's jump in. If we look at the current state today, I talked to a lot of customers and I asked them, like, what do you think about application management? Regardless if it's Intune or anything else, like they come back with all these words, right? Say, hey, application packaging is fill in the blank. And these are all the things you get. What it equates to me and what I hear is that it's just too much effort, right? When customers say it takes time, it's too much work, archaic, cumbersome, like it signals to me that it just takes too much effort. It shouldn't take that much effort. If I'm coming to the office to package applications, you can guarantee that I'm probably using an hour or 2 hours out of my day, and that's being generous, of just packaging an application. Joe, talk about the update experience.
Yeah, we hear from customers that they have to go find an update. They heard on the radio on the way into work today that there's an update that's available for these apps. Make sure you install them, a vulnerability for this third-party app. We hear customers that say, I've got 5 different tools that I use for packaging. I need to keep it up to date because my security team says so, and I'm receiving these signals. So these are the things that we're hearing from the customers. Really, application management, the whole aspect of application management just takes too much effort.
Let's talk about some goals for launch day. So as I said earlier, February 1st is a day that we plan on actually making this capability available to you. We are going to focus on a very prioritized set of popular applications. And as I started to allude to earlier, right, the capabilities and value, you're going to be able to simply click on a catalog, select an application, and that application shows up in your tenant, ready for you to deploy. No more packaging. You should begin to see what I would characterize as the beginning of the end of having to do all that work. Now, you don't have to use a catalog if you don't want to, but I'd highly suggest that you do, because it's a great way to start seeing what we're doing and the capabilities that we can bring in and start to save time. Like if you really enjoy wasting 4 hours, 5 hours, X amount of time packaging applications, like, hey, go for it, keep doing it. But the catalog is going to help you get started faster. And then you'll see in the demo later that we'll do, there'll be places for you to make changes and edits. It's going to be so easy for you to stay current with applications too, just because of the update experience that we're going to bring into the capabilities. Joe, I'm sorry, I'm probably stealing some of the stock comments you want to throw out there.
Yeah, you stole a couple of them, but I also want to, I do want to specify, we have that very first bullet point, a prioritized set of popular applications. Our catalog is going to be, it's going to start off as a subset of the applications that are available, and we'll grow that catalog over the next several weeks or months after general availability. So February 1st, we'll have a subset of applications, all popular. The applications you use today will probably be there. Will all of them be there? No, a subset of them will be there. And then over the course of the next several weeks and couple of months later, you'll start to see that catalog really just think of it like a water hose spewing applications into a catalog. That's what I want you to think about.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so enterprise app management value, right? So we talked about some of it, just reiterating, streamline app management. Again, we talked about it earlier, saving time, being more efficient. Do you want to spend extra time at work packaging applications, or you just want to select it, get it in there, and be able to maybe go back and modify, install strings or whatever detection methods? Like, we're going to give you all this stuff. So the demo should really be eye-popping. Your security people is going to love you too. So think about, hey, your security guy telling you about something that they discovered. You can actually go and provide the update for that application. Simple. Again, not having to go find the application, repackage it, or understand how to package it and do all those things. Like, sounds really exciting, like things I wish I would have had when I was on the other side for 20 years, but it's here now and it's here for for you guys as customers. So you should definitely look into it and provide me all the feedback you can about it, because I do want to make it better and better with each iteration. And the last bullet I'll call out, stay current with updates, right? This experience is going to help you stay current with updates. Again, you don't have to be so reactive and find out and go into a fire drill because you found out this app's like 8 versions behind or 6 versions behind or 2 versions behind. Like, you're going to have a place to figure that out right there in the console. We're going to give you somewhere to figure that out right there. So one of the other things I'm really super excited to share is that we're going to bring in some new capabilities. So apps that automatically update, right? I say an auto update, but there are a lot of apps out there that have these built-in self-updaters, right? They just update themselves. We're going to bring in support for that. So I don't know if everybody's standing and applauding, but I do know that there are a lot of customers out there that struggle with apps that update all on their own because they have to find the disable switch or whatever. Some customers want to just let apps do their thing, and there are some customers that want to like stick to a specific version. But we're specifically on this slide, I'm telling you that we're going to support apps that do self-update. So the admin will get to select a target minimum version, and the Intune will just make sure that it's at that target version or more. If we see that it's higher, we'll just consider it installed. Your application will also auto-update based on the vendor process. Like, Microsoft's not taking any interaction here. The application vendor's process will just automatically self-update the app, and then you'll be able to keep your application updated as quickly as that vendor notifies the application or your application notifies the vendor about its update version. Also, last but not least, the admin will be able to actually see the installed version on our reporting platform, right? So whether it's in the all apps view or in discovered apps view, wherever our reporting capabilities are, you'll be able to see all the installed versions of said application across the state.
Yeah, one thing that you did mention, but you kind of went through it quickly, is that vendor process. Microsoft doesn't change the vendor's process, right? We want to make sure that the vendor says that this is self-updating, then it is self-updating. We don't want to change their process. But because of that, we want you to make sure that you do some testing on the apps before you blast out that update to your entire estate.
Yeah, definitely good point. All right, so let's talk about the next one. So we'll also have support for apps that don't self-update. So the admin will be able to select the exact version they want, right? And then Intune will ensure you're at that targeted version. We'll also provide a streamlined experience to discover that update is available in the catalog of the apps that you've created. So you'll be able to see, hey, here's that pane that shows me the app current version, the update version. And then you'll be able to click on ellipsis and go through a guided process. And last but not least, like controlled rollout and static version. So we'll let you roll out that static version, right? You pick this specific version, you'll be able to go through the supersedence and update said version to 1.0, 2.0, 2.0, 3.0, et cetera, et cetera. And then again, same thing with our reporting platform. Our reporting platform, you'll be able to see the installed version in all reporting views. Joe, anything I'm missing there?
No, I think the demos should really show everyone what, we're excited about this. This is our excited faces. And I think the demos are going to show everyone why.
What I'm going to demo is going to be the application catalog. So what we're going to see right here is application catalog. So if you're in the all apps view, once this capability actually releases, just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to click on Windows, because right now today we only support Windows. So if I hit add application type, you'll see Windows catalog app Win32. So if you select that, you'll get this nice little banner. You'll hit select, and then you'll select this button here to actually pop out the catalog. So you'll get a flyout pane from the right, and take just a second. So here you can see a list of the applications that will show up in a second. There we go. So here I'll just type Microsoft, find it, go Microsoft app to deploy. I'll select Power Toys, and this is all of the catalog actually in work right here. Then next, I can see the 64-bit version of Power Toys. I check the box, hit select.
What I like about this with that screen, and we just went through it real fast, is if we have an application that has several different language packs available, or that has different architectures, x86, x64, they all show up right there, and you can choose the application, the language, the architecture that you want to deploy right there in the catalog.
Right on, Joe. Good point. Here you'll see I select the Power Toy. You can see, look, this is the metadata all at work right here. So we got the name, description. Again, look, I can click and edit any of these fields we pre-fill all the data in for you. This is work that you were probably doing if you're wrapping the application. But anyway, it's all changeable. You can go through and make all the changes that you may want. So we hit next. Again, more metadata right here. And for me, this is really the exciting piece because there's a lot of things really particular to this screen that we just didn't have time to get out. So a little bit about future. There's more metadata behind it. We didn't get to use it. I'm super excited to get to use and hopefully very quick iteration. Pre-install command, uninstall command, all there for you. So think of how much time your IT pros are actually out there figuring this out today. First question, I know somebody's got in their mind, hey, is that editable? Yep. You can click right in there, cursor's flashing, you can make all the changes you want to it. What Microsoft and my team is going to support is the silent uninstall and the silent uninstall. If you add up other properties to it, I mean, go for it. There's no way for us to test all the different permutations of properties that an ISV may give, but hey, we'll give you best ever supported once you start changing this area. But we have tested and made sure that the silent uninstall and uninstalls work. We also, part of our metadata, have return code, and you also see we have detection requirement. So I just keeping this thing moving along. When we look at requirements, if our metadata has requirements about any of this data here on the screen, we'll pre-fill that in. If it doesn't, we'll select the minimum and then we'll just keep it going. Here you'll see detection rules, right? You saw me just add it from the catalog. I didn't, sneakily have a command prompt window open or anything. I literally just added this out from the catalog. And here you can see my detection methods completely filled out, both of them to detect if that application is there or not. From there, it's normal application deployment. Here's our scope tags, review and create. Bada boom, bada bing. There's my application. Here you can see that the application is created. Now there's a slight tweak here, right? If you were uploading this application yourself, you would upload the application, right? You would still receive this banner here that the app's not ready because you're waiting on it to be uploaded. In this case, since we're providing application as well as a binary, we are right now taking that binary and moving it from our Microsoft storage to your storage. Now, this is the same binary. You could go to the website of PowerToys and get. Microsoft is not manipulating this content or anything. We just made it easy for you to acquire that content instead of having to go and get it exactly directly from the ISV's website. But simply add it to your tenant, and now you can go crazy with it. You can actually follow your own processes, make changes, add it into your internal process. Maybe you have ticketing systems or rings that you need to deploy it to. This is all at your fingertips to go crazy with.
And one thing that also to keep in mind is under the hood, the foundation is a Win32 app. So when you go to the properties, you can not only assign it, but we have the filters, the delivery optimization, the deadlines, everything that you would expect in a Win32, you have in this as well. So once you go to assign that, we can choose any one of them that actually is ready. So in the properties, you can then see all those things you can do to customize that installation. Everything, again, that you would have expected to see in a Win32.
Yep, same thing. As Joe mentioned and nailed it spot on, that it's a Win32 app. Once it gets a new tenant, solid Win32 app. And recap that demo, right? Adding applications is simple. Microsoft's going to wrap the application for you. We're going to add it to your tenant. We're going to give you the silent install, give you the silent uninstall, and then we're going to give you the detection rules. So Microsoft providing all this for you as a customer. Again, if I was on the other side hearing this again, this saves me tons of time. So I would be standing up and applauding that, hey, I can actually add an application without spending so much time in the command prompt, figuring out /Q/H, what comes back, what doesn't comes back, get a test box or a VM. It's not testing that you should just not do, but things can be much more efficient as you go through that testing now. So anyway, I can totally get on the soapbox. It's very easy for me to put my customer hat back on, but I'll move on. Unless, Joe, anything else I forgot?
One thing that, because we do that uninstall command, because we know that it works, in Intune 2307, we added the uninstall in company portal. So even though we went through that pretty quickly in the demo, that's set to default to yes. We know that uninstall command works. And like a Win32, that can be uninstalled from company portal as part of the defaults of the package.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call out. So guess what? Here's
updating an app next. Yep.
Inside the console, we go look at the all apps pane, and you see here, there'll be this pane down here. Once you click on it, what we're going to do is look at your catalog apps and bada boom, bada bing, tell you what apps need to be updated. There it goes. All right, so you can see here that I can see the current version of my application and then the newest version of the application, or update available, superseded or not. I get publisher. So it's very quick out of view. I can see what apps have an update and I can actually go do something with it. Like everybody internal Microsoft knows that's one of the things that gets me excited, being able to actually do something, not just see something. Like that was my pet peeve as a customer. Like, man, it's nice to see that, but if I had a button to do something, that would be cool. So, hey, look, we got buttons to do stuff. So here you can see, I'm just going to pick on Notepad++. Notepad++, I got it from the catalog and it was 8.5.4. That's the installed version. But I know that, hey, look, there's a new version. So I can absolutely click the 3 dots, update app. Now, this is what, again, gets pretty cool. I get to see all of this metadata come together in one place and a process come together in one place. So if you're familiar with how supersedence in our app model works, you have to add the application, then go do supersedence. We put them both together. So here you can see the metadata again from Notepad++. Again, still I can change it, right? I can make changes. That's one thing customers asked us when we're getting feedback and investigation. So I can hit next. Bada boom, bada bing. Here you go again. Install commands, uninstall command, return codes if we got them, requirements if we got them. Again, we list them. Also detection methods, right? So here we go. We can find out about the detection of the application. Here you can see there's 2. I can click and see them both. Make changes again if I want to make changes. And next, scope tags. And here we go with supersedence. All right. And here you can even see that on the supersedence area, you can still make changes. You can choose to uninstall a previous version or not. You can add other things. We didn't mess with this because we wanted you as a customer to be able to have the controls that you need. Maybe in the future, and maybe feedback will help me go in and make changes here and make things efficient for you as a customer. But we wanted to leave all those controls in your hands for now. And then as feedback comes in, we can make some changes to provide some other efficiencies here. And once I hit next, pretty much it. I can literally hit create, and there's the application. It'll get created in my tenant. And now I can actually go in and start to do the assignment. We purposely left off the assignments piece of that wizard because we did want customers, again, you wanted you to take the action to go do the assignments. There's some things we could have done, and we did talk about being able to carry over previous assignments. That conversation really was good, and we did really think about it. And I even think one of our early builds had that in there. We took it out just to prevent an accident. We didn't want somebody to say, hey, just click next, go through the process. And then all of a sudden they weren't able to follow their process or miss the ability to follow their process. So we may bring that back in based on some feedback, but we chose to leave the assignment out for now. And you as a customer, just give me feedback. Let me know if you want that. We'll go forward and investigate that further.
Yeah. Before you leave this screen, Danny, one thing that I also like, if those of you that are keen eyes, you might have seen that WinRAR is listed 3 times in the updates node, and Vietnamese WinRAR is even listed twice. Because every time we pull that from the catalog, in this case, we pulled the Vietnamese version twice, maybe for 2 different groups with 2 different install commands. But regardless, we pulled it out of the catalog twice, so it shows up as an update twice, allowing us to roll out that update, roll it out to one group, and then roll it out to the next group after the fact. Allowing us to test it and roll out that update. So it's not an all or nothing here. As many times as you packaged it from the catalog, it'll show up here in the updates as well.
Yep, you got it. It's a great call out, Joe. Recap that demo. Updating an application is easy. Like you saw the step, you saw the pain. We'll show you the installed application, updated application, small thumbnails, a screenshot there at the bottom. But you get to see all of that stuff very easy. Also determine next steps. So, hey, do I want to update that application for this deployment, this group or not? Get to make all those choices, as well as the ability to have supersedence included in that wizard. Just kind of like nails everything, like helps you be more efficient, faster, and effective throughout your application estate. So we've been in private preview for a while, and we've heard some feedback from customers. Customers want applications to be easily discovered and deployed. Customers want the application manager. They think it's too complex. They need more flexibility, more control and configuration. applications, some of them do need to be set and forget. I had those when I was a customer. There are some apps I deploy and never worried about them at all. There are some apps that do need quite a bit of handholding. We all may use some of those apps on a day-to-day basis. That's kind of what we heard. And as we hear that feedback, we process that, break that feedback down, have more calls with customers, and really try to build into some solutions for customers so that you can be more efficient, effective, and as well as secure across your whole estate. Let's talk about future state. I did talk earlier about, some things for February 1st and some things that would be fast follows. So February 1st is the foundation and what's beyond. Absolutely more applications. As you start to get your hands on this, like there will never be a point where I think a customer will say you've got enough applications. I think there will always be, hey, can we get more? Hey, how do we reach out and get you to add this app or that app? Hey, how do I add my internal apps? And this is kind of why my earlier statement, I try not to get too excited about this, trying to make sure that the foundation is functional and usable, because without that foundation, man, none of this cool stuff comes true. But we're definitely going to give you more applications, a lot of applications. Graph API for automation. Like when I was on the other side, towards the end, I started doing a lot of automation, being more effective and efficient with my time. And that's really the core and creme de la creme of what a lot of customers are asking us. Like they love the UI, but where's a graph? How can I automate? I want to use all these automation tools. How can I be more streamlined? So we'll have Graph API available for you right after or soon after, as well as that guided upgrade experience definitely coming again somewhere around the March and April timeframe. We'll get that guided upgrade experience in there for you. And then you can start updating those applications that are outdated that you've added from the catalog. Vision, again, super exciting area where you start to think about the art of the possible. We've got lots of metadata about applications and capabilities. It's really exciting. Again, I temper myself from getting excited about this because I'll get distracted from the foundation and something will break. But you start thinking about integrated services like, hey, can things from MDE send me a trigger into Intune Enterprise App Management so that app can be updated based on its vulnerability? That's a very realistic art of the possible. It's probably far out right now for my team in the development, but that's very realistic possibility that could be done. Cross-platform, Mac and Linux, very realistic possibility. Automated management of not just managed, but also unmanaged applications. Like that's where things really get interesting, because maybe I'm not been on the other side for too long, but I think about the times I would drive to the office and, it was John Doe that had said application on his device that I got to go figure out how many other people have. And that's the problem. I didn't even deploy it. He went out and installed it himself. That's my fire. It's not really my applications that I pushed out with my management tool. So, automated management as well as security of the managed and unmanaged estate. So when we release it, it's just not to confuse anybody, like that's the exciting piece. When we release, we're going to be focused on managed apps only, but we're going to build somewhere into the managed and unmanaged. We have to, that's where things really get exciting, and we provide a real good value to customers in their estate. Application catalog can become an API source for other services. I mentioned earlier, MDE, TVM, other acronyms out there that can plug into the catalog based off certain triggers in their estate, whether it be vulnerability or some other trigger that you want to have. Very realistic. Again, these things are probably far out, but they are very realistic based off of what we can do. Enterprise App Management will also help Microsoft understand the gaps in the app model better. For me, that one probably is one of the more exciting out of all of this. As I talk to a lot of customers, again, I stay rooted into my time on the other side, that there are things that need to be improved, and we will have to look at those things with a closer eye, because this Enterprise App Manager is going to help us understand those gaps a lot better and knock out some real assumptions that we had. And we can actually drive with a lot more data rather than kind of assumptions, feelings, and things like that. So anyway, a little bit of soapbox there, but that stuff gets really exciting. And when I talk to customers are like, man, you're excited about this, but you're also you seem more excited about the next thing. And I kind of am. I'm excited about the whole thing, because even the pieces you see now, for me, they paint a real solid picture of the future of app management that is really possible. And I wish I had. I wish I was on the other side. anyway, my passion is coming out. That's my conclusion, and I'll throw the mic to Joe. So maybe he's got some passion that wants to come out too.
Yeah, I do have some passion on this as well. And even on that last slide, when we talk about where we're going and the art of the possible, and I really love the last part of that, because I've been working for Microsoft for a dozen years. I just hit 12 years. I've been working with Intune for about 7-ish of those years. And, I was a customer before, just like you're a customer before. And do I know that there are gaps in the app model? Sure. And this is aimed to close those gaps. And I love that. Some of the gaps, I don't want to list what they are, because I don't want to give anyone any ideas, but we know what they are, and we are fixing to close those gaps. And I love that. If you give us a minute, we'll get all that done for you.
And with that, that's it. I want to thank everybody for joining the session and allow me and Joe to ramble about, things that we're passionate about, as well as things that we're working on to help you guys as customers. And that's one thing I really love about my job, is I get to help my former self be more effective and efficient. And I still feel that that person is aligned with a lot of you guys as customers. So thank you, everybody, for joining the session today.